Picture this, the music industry's biggest power players are sitting at the same table, and the tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife. Drake, the self-proclaimed king of hip-hop charts, walks into a high-rise boardroom with one mission in mind. He wants what Kendrick Lamar has. Not the fame, not the respect, not even the fan adoration, no. Drake has his eyes locked on Kendrick's Golden Universal Music Group contract. The deal that gave Kendrick freedom, ownership, and power like no other rapper in the game. But when Drake put his cards on the table, UMG didn't just say no. They looked him dead in the eye and said, "Nope, you're not getting Kendrick's contract." And just like that, the floodgates of drama burst open. Behind closed doors, executives whispered, rivals laughed, and even Drake's closest allies started questioning his next move. Was this a humiliating fall from grace for hip-hop's chart topper? Or was UMG deliberately setting him up to fail while protecting Kendrick at all costs? Fans are already buzzing, insiders are spilling tea, and the music world has been thrown into chaos. This isn't just business, it's betrayal, pride, and power colliding in real-time. Drama in the music world doesn't just begin with songs or stage performances. Sometimes it begins in a quiet boardroom where the stakes are higher than anyone could imagine. The scene opens with Drake walking into Universal Music Group's headquarters, his expression calm but his ambition blazing underneath. He wasn't just coming in to renegotiate another album deal or ask for more promotion. He came with one demand: the exact same contract Kendrick Lamar had walked away with. A contract that gave Kendrick ownership of his masters, full creative freedom, and a payout so massive that industry insiders still whisper about it like a myth. Drake wanted the same treatment, but the room was already set for drama. Executives sat around the table pretending to smile, but the tension was obvious. A senior executive leaned back in his chair, crossing his arms, and with a cold smile said, "Drake, you've had an incredible run with us. Nobody can deny your impact." But Kendrick's deal was unique. It was custom-tailored to him. Drake leaned forward, voice steady but with a sharp edge. "Unique or protected? Because what I'm hearing is you gave Kendrick the crown and now you don't want me sitting on the same throne." The words echoed in the room, and you could feel how personal this was becoming. This wasn't just a contract negotiation, it was ego, legacy, and power colliding. The executives exchanged glances, some clearly uncomfortable. One of them finally broke the silence. "Kendrick's contract is not for sale. We cannot replicate it for anyone else." It was the corporate way of saying no, but it stung like betrayal. Drake's jaw tightened, his pride clearly bruised. He pushed back his chair, stood tall, and replied, "So after all I've done, after all the records, the tours, the number ones, you're telling me I don't deserve what Kendrick got? You're telling me I'm second place?" Outside of that, boardroom whispers were already spreading. Assistants and lower-level staff who caught glimpses of the heated exchange were messaging their friends, and soon fans began piecing together rumors online. Drake tried to snatch Kendrick's deal and got shut down, one fan posted on Twitter. Another wrote, "This is the first time I've ever seen Drake denied something in the industry, wow." The narrative began spiraling, and social media turned the private humiliation into public spectacle. What was meant to be a quiet meeting had now become a storm brewing in the open. Back inside, the executives tried to soften the blow. One of them spoke carefully. "Drake, you've been with us for over a decade. You've delivered countless hits, and your position here is untouchable. But Kendrick's deal was a one-time exception. It's not about worth, it's about circumstances." Drake laughed, but it wasn't the kind of laugh you'd hear in an interview. It was bitter, sharp, and filled with disbelief. "So basically you're saying he's special and I'm not? You're protecting him while leaving me hanging. Tell me, is this business or favoritism?" And just like that, the heart of the conflict was laid bare. Favoritism, loyalty, betrayal. Fans weren't wrong to feel like something deeper was at play. Drake had always positioned himself as the man who carried charts on his back, the artist who gave Universal endless hits. But Kendrick, with fewer releases, had been given the golden ticket. It didn't make sense, and for Drake, it felt like the ultimate disrespect. Later that evening, Drake was seen leaving the building in silence, his team walking close behind him. No one spoke, but the cameras captured his expression, anger mixed with disappointment. By the time he got into his car, the internet was already buzzing. Hip-hop blogs published headlines like "Drake versus to contract drama," and why. Kendrick's deal is untouchable. Fans debated endlessly in comment sections. Maybe knows Kendrick's the future, not Drake, one wrote. Another shot back, Drake's the one keeping the lights on. This is insane. Emotions ran high and the fan base was split right down the middle. But what made this moment even more intense was the ripple effect it caused among other artists. Insiders claim that the week following the meeting, Drake received calls from several industry friends, some offering sympathy, others secretly gloating. One unnamed artist was quoted saying, "Finally, someone told Drake no, about time." And then came the whispers that Kendrick himself had heard about the entire ordeal and wasn't impressed. According to a close source, Kendrick allegedly told a friend, "He wants what I earned, but you can't buy authenticity." Those words, whether true or not, only poured gasoline on the fire. Fans started dissecting Kendrick's rumored response, claiming it was a subtle jab at Drake's artistry. Social media lit up with comparisons, memes, and heated debates. "Kendrick's the poet, Drake's the pop star," one tweet read. Another declared, "Drake's insecure, that's why he's chasing Kendrick's contract." The family of hip-hop fans was officially divided, each side defending their favorite like it was a matter of life and death. Meanwhile, Drake's inner circle wasn't staying silent. His longtime friend and producer reportedly told a podcast, "This isn't about money, it's about respect. When you give someone else a contract that says you trust them with their legacy, and you don't give that to Drake, what are you really saying? You're saying you don't believe in him the same way." The statement went viral, adding another layer to the drama. People began to question UMG's motives. Was this really about circumstances, or was there a deeper agenda to elevate Kendrick above Drake? The story only intensified when a rumor began circulating that Drake had threatened to walk away from Universal altogether. "He's seriously considering going independent," claimed one industry insider. The thought alone sent shockwaves across the music world. Could Drake, one of the biggest artists alive, leave the label that helped build his empire? Fans were torn. Some cheered the idea, saying Drake would finally get full control. Others feared it would mark the beginning of his downfall without the machine backing him. The uncertainty only fueled more drama, and every new rumor felt like a plot twist in a never-ending soap opera. Drake himself remained quiet publicly, but behind the scenes, sources claimed he was fuming. One insider revealed that he told his team, "If they think they can play me like this, they've got another thing coming. I'll make moves they won't see coming." That single quote sparked theories about secret plans, collaborations, and even possible diss tracks aimed not only at Kendrick, but at the label itself. Fans speculated wildly, waiting for the next move like it was the next episode of a reality series. By the end of the week, the music industry was fully consumed by this conflict. Blogs updated hourly, fans created hashtags like hashtag Drake vs UMG and hashtag Kendrick contract, and celebrities began weighing in. Some publicly sided with Drake, praising his consistency and saying he deserved equal respect. Others defended Kendrick, arguing that his artistry and principles justified the unique deal. The division was loud, messy, and emotional. And through it all, Universal Music Group remained silent, letting the storm rage without giving any official statement. But silence doesn't always calm the fire. Instead, it made the drama even bigger, because in the absence of answers, people began filling the gaps with their own stories. Some claimed Drake had walked into that boardroom demanding more than even Kendrick received, while others swore he was only asking for fairness. Whatever the truth was, one thing was clear: Drake felt betrayed, fans felt divided, and Kendrick's name was being dragged into a war he hadn't even started. And just when it seemed like things couldn't escalate further, another shocking twist emerged that would change the course of this entire saga. The shocking twist came from a leak that no one expected. Late one night, an anonymous email landed in the inboxes of multiple hip-hop bloggers. Attached was what appeared to be a redacted version of Kendrick's actual contract with Universal. Though many details were blacked out, the parts that remained visible revealed shocking clauses that gave Kendrick not only ownership of his masters, but also creative veto power over certain label projects. In other words, Kendrick had the authority to reject collaborations, marketing strategies, and even release schedules if he felt they clashed with his vision. It wasn't just a contract, it was a throne. As the leaked pages spread online, fans went into meltdown. "No wonder Drake wanted this," one tweet said. "Another Sage. Sage." Outed. Kendrick basically owns Universal at this point. The pressure on Drake grew heavier. To the public, it now looked like Drake wasn't being greedy, he was fighting for the same respect. But within Universal, the leak caused chaos. Executives scrambled to trace where it had come from. Suspicion began flying around, and the boardroom turned into a battlefield of blame. One executive allegedly accused another of leaking the contract to sabotage Drake, while others insisted Drake's camp had orchestrated it. The family within Universal itself was now divided. Drake, meanwhile, remained silent, which only fueled speculation. Fans wondered if he was behind the leak, testing Universal's loyalty. Others believed he was holding back, planning a dramatic reveal in his own way. One source close to Drake claimed he told his team, "If they think I leaked it, fine. Let them sweat. I'm not the one looking shady right now, they are." The strategy seemed to work because overnight, the narrative shifted. Suddenly, Universal wasn't just the company that denied Drake. They were the company accused of favoritism, secrecy, and betrayal. Kendrick, however, reportedly wasn't happy. Insiders whispered that he felt blindsided, angry that his private business was dragged into Drake's battle. According to one source, Kendrick told a friend, "I earned that deal with my blood, sweat, and words. If Drake wants it, he should put in the same work, not cry about it." Though Kendrick never made a public statement, those rumored words spread like wildfire, reigniting the rivalry between the two rap giants. Social media turned it into a boxing match. Fans posted split-screen edits of Drake versus Kendrick with captions like "Contract War 2025. Emotions ran high." And every fan was picking sides as if it were a championship fight. The drama didn't just stay online. Drake's closest friends began openly defending him. His longtime collaborator reportedly said in a livestream, "Look, this man carried hip-hop on his back for over a decade. You can't tell me he doesn't deserve the same respect Kendrick got." This is straight-up politics. Fans cheered. Clips of the livestream went viral, and hashtags supporting Drake started trending. But the more support Drake gained, the more backlash came his way too. Some critics argued that Drake's entire career was built on being commercially successful, while Kendrick's was built on artistry and risk-taking, which justified the special treatment. One commentator even declared, "Drake wants Kendrick's crown, but he'll never wear it the same way." As the debates grew, Universal finally decided to respond, but not directly. Instead of issuing a press release, they had one of their top executives give an interview to a major music magazine. In it, the executive insisted, "There is no favoritism here. Kendrick's contract was created under very specific circumstances that cannot be replicated. Drake remains one of our most valued partners, and we are in ongoing discussions about his future." The statement sounded professional, but it was cold and fans weren't convinced. In fact, the interview only made things worse. Because if the label was still in ongoing discussions, then clearly the fight wasn't over. And if the fight wasn't over, then it meant Drake wasn't backing down, and he wasn't. Behind the scenes, Drake was already making bold moves. Insiders claimed he began meeting with rival labels in secret, exploring the possibility of jumping ship entirely. One particularly juicy rumor suggested he had dinner with executives from Sony, who allegedly told him they'd match anything Universal could offer and more. Whether true or not, the story spread like wildfire, making Universal look desperate. Drake to Sony? Fans screamed online. This could flip the whole industry upside down. Memes of Universal execs sweating while Sony execs popped champagne started circulating, and the internet feasted on the chaos. The tension reached a boiling point when Drake's mother reportedly weighed in privately. According to one gossip outlet, she told a family friend, "I don't want to see my son begging anyone for what he's already earned." Those words, though unconfirmed, touched fans deeply. Suddenly, the drama wasn't just business, it was personal, it was family, it was about pride. Fans posted comments like, "This man gave us a decade of anthems, and his own family feels he's being disrespected. This is sad." Emotions skyrocketed, and the feud transformed into a full-blown narrative of betrayal and resilience. As if things weren't dramatic enough, Drake himself dropped a cryptic Instagram post late one night. It was a photo of him sitting at a piano. Head down with the caption, "When they close the door, you build your own house." Fans went wild. Was he hinting at going independent? Was he teasing a diss track? Or was it just another way to keep everyone guessing? Whatever it meant, it worked. The internet exploded. Music blogs dissected the caption for hidden meanings, and rival rappers even started chiming in with their own interpretations. One posted a laughing emoji while another wrote, "He's." Finally realizing the game isn't built for everyone. And then came the next twist. Reports began circulating that Kendrick himself had been contacted by Universal to extend his contract even further, locking him in for several more years. The timing couldn't have been worse. To Drake's supporters, it looked like a deliberate slap in the face. So they denied Drake, but they're rewarding Kendrick again. Unbelievable, one fan raged online. The divide between Drake and Kendrick's fan bases widened into a canyon. Both sides began launching campaigns, each determined to prove their favorite was the rightful king. Twitter threads, YouTube think pieces, and even TikTok skits flooded the internet, turning the contract battle into a cultural war. By now, even other celebrities outside of music were weighing in. One NBA star tweeted, "Drake deserves better." A Hollywood actress posted on Instagram, "Kendrick's contract is iconic, but that doesn't mean Drake should be denied his flowers." The fact that actors, athletes, and influencers were now joining the debate showed just how massive this drama had become. It wasn't just about two rappers anymore, it was about legacy, respect, and how the industry decides who gets to be remembered as a legend. Meanwhile, insiders claimed Universal was starting to panic. Behind closed doors, executives reportedly argued about whether they should give in to Drake's demands just to stop the bleeding. One executive was overheard saying, "If he leaves, it'll shake the entire foundation of our roster." Another disagreed, saying, "No artist is bigger than the company. We can't let him dictate terms." The internal conflict grew louder, and soon leaks about their disagreements made their way to the press. Suddenly, Universal didn't just look biased, they looked fractured. And a fractured empire is the perfect stage for rebellion. Drake, seeing the cracks in the wall, reportedly began planning his next move carefully. One source claimed he told his crew, "We're not playing checkers anymore. This is chess. They'll regret underestimating me." Fans clung to those words, waiting for him to strike, waiting for the next explosive chapter. But what they didn't know was that the next move wouldn't come from Drake or Kendrick. It would come from someone no one expected, someone who had been watching from the sidelines and was ready to throw a bomb into the middle of the fire. And that shocking entrance would change the game entirely. The shocking entrance came from none other than Jay-Z. Yes, the mogul himself, the man who had once been both mentor and rival to Drake in subtle ways, and who also had a long history of respect for Kendrick. According to multiple insiders, Jay-Z stepped into the drama with a phone call that nobody expected. Word spread quickly that he contacted Universal directly, urging them not to cave into Drake's demands. The alleged reason? Jay believed giving Drake Kendrick's exact contract would destroy balance in the industry. The moment this news leaked, fans lost their minds. Jay-Z siding with Kendrick? One fan screamed online. Another wrote, "This is bigger than rap now, this is politics." Suddenly the feud wasn't just Drake versus Universal. It was Drake versus an entire system of powerful allies protecting Kendrick's throne. Insiders even claimed Jay told an associate, "Kendrick's deal represents a new era. If Drake gets the same, then what's the point of building something exclusive?" Whether he truly said it or not didn't matter, the story spread like wildfire and the narrative solidified. The industry's elites were uniting to keep Drake in check. Drake, upon hearing this, reportedly went into a rage. One close friend revealed he felt betrayed. He thought Jay had his back, but instead Jay doubled down on protecting Kendrick. Drake allegedly snapped at his team, saying, "They think I can't stand on my own. They think I need their permission to be great. Nah, we'll show them." It was no longer just about the contract, it was personal. Betrayal had transformed the boardroom negotiation into an all-out war of pride and legacy. Meanwhile, fans began drawing battle lines. Drake's supporters launched hashtags like #FreeDrake and #RespectTheDragon, portraying him as a caged beast ready to break free. Kendrick's fans responded with their own campaigns, #ProtectThePoe and #KendrickTheChosen, framing him as the rightful heir whose artistry needed safeguarding. It wasn't just stan wars, it felt like two families locked in a generational feud, each unwilling to back down. Even mutual fans found themselves dragged into the chaos, with timelines flooded by arguments, memes, and heated debates that made hip-hop feel more like a reality show than an art form. But the real twist came when another unexpected player entered the arena. Rihanna. Insiders whispered that Rihanna, who has her own history with both Drake and Jay-Z, expressed quiet support for Drake behind the scenes. One gossip outlet claimed she told a friend, "He deserves that contract more than anyone." They're playing favorites. When fans caught wind of this, the internet broke apart. Rihanna just picked a side, one tweet exploded. "This is about to get ugly." Although Rihanna never made a public statement, the rumor alone fueled more speculation and dragged even more celebrities into the firestorm. The pressure on Universal was unbearable. Every day, more leaks emerged from inside their offices. One day it was rumors of heated shouting matches between executives. The next day it was whispers about Drake threatening to drop a diss track aimed at the entire label. Fans couldn't look away. It was addictive, unpredictable, pure chaos. And then, as if to confirm the rumors, Drake posted another cryptic message on Instagram: "Silence is strategy." No music, no explanation, just 3 words. Fans went into overdrive, convinced he was preparing a master plan. At the same time, Kendrick's camp stayed quiet, but silence can be louder than words. Bloggers speculated endlessly about what Kendrick thought, whether he was laughing at Drake's struggle or annoyed that his name kept being dragged through the mud. One blogger wrote, "Kendrick doesn't need to say a word, he already won by being the standard Drake is chasing." The comment went viral, sparking another wave of debates. Was Kendrick truly untouchable, or was he just hiding behind the label's protection? Either way, his reputation only grew stronger, while Drake's frustration became more visible with each passing day. And then came a bombshell revelation. Leaked audio surfaced online, allegedly from a private conversation between 2 Universal executives. In the clip, one voice could be heard saying, "Drake is replaceable, Kendrick is legacy." Those 4 words, "Drake is replaceable," ignited the internet like gasoline on fire. Fans were outraged. Replaceable? "Drake carried your label for a decade," one fan tweeted. Another wrote, "If he's replaceable, then why do you keep begging him for albums?" The backlash was immediate and brutal. Suddenly, the sympathy swung even harder in Drake's favor. Universal looked arrogant, cold, and out of touch. What was meant to be a private conversation had become a public scandal. Drake's reaction, according to insiders, was explosive. He reportedly slammed his phone down after hearing the clip and shouted to his crew, "Replaceable? We'll see about that. Watch me show them who's replaceable." His anger turned into motivation, and the energy in his camp shifted from frustration to strategy. Sources claimed he began plotting a surprise move, an independent release. A full project dropped without warning, aimed directly at proving his power without Universal's backing. The whispers alone sent shockwaves through the industry. If Drake really went through with it, it would be a nuclear strike on the label's authority. As the drama escalated, families and friends of both rappers became unwilling participants in the feud. Drake's family was reportedly worried about his stress levels, with one relative saying, "This is taking a toll on him. He's not sleeping, he's not eating properly, he's obsessed with proving them wrong." On the other side, Kendrick's family was allegedly frustrated too. One insider claimed his cousin said, "They keep dragging Kendrick into this when he didn't even start it. Let him live." The emotional weight spread beyond contracts and careers. It was affecting lives, relationships, and households. The music industry was eating itself alive, and fans couldn't turn away. Then came the ultimate twist. Drake reportedly reached out to a rival label to schedule a secret meeting, but not just any rival label. Rumor had it he was in talks with Jay-Z's very own ROC Nation. The irony was delicious. If true, it meant Drake was trying to infiltrate Jay's empire from the inside, turning betrayal into revenge. Fans were floored. "He's playing chess now," one commenter wrote. "This is some empire-level drama." Others speculated that the rumor was planted to stir the pot even further. But the possibility alone sent the internet into a frenzy. The story was no longer just about one contract. It was about the balance of power in the entire music industry. Universal Sensing the ground slipping beneath them, reportedly began scrambling for damage control. Insiders claim they held emergency meetings about offering Drake a new, hybrid deal that gave him partial ownership rights but still kept him tied to the label. Whether it was enough remained unclear. Fans speculated that Drake wouldn't accept half measures anymore. "He's too far gone," one fan posted. "He wants the crown, nothing less." And with every passing day, the sense grew stronger that a major explosion was coming. By the time the second week of the scandal hit, even casual music fans were hooked. YouTube videos analyzing the drama racked up millions of views. Podcasts debated the contract like it was a Supreme Court case. Twitter Spaces turned into live arguments between fans, some defending Drake's legacy, others insisting Kendrick's artistry justified the treatment. It wasn't just news, it was entertainment, a living soap opera with no script and no end in sight. And at the center of it all, Drake sat quietly, plotting his next move, but just when the world thought the battle lines were clear, another unexpected figure stepped into the chaos, throwing everything into deeper uncertainty. The unexpected figure was none other than Kanye West. Yes, the man who had a complicated love-hate history with Drake and who had been relatively quiet in the feud between Drake and Kendrick suddenly decided to make his presence known. According to insiders, Kanye called up several media outlets and hinted that he was ready to speak his mind about the entire contract drama. Fans braced themselves because if there was anyone who could turn an already messy situation into complete chaos, it was Kanye, and chaos is exactly what followed. In a leaked phone conversation that made its way online, Kanye allegedly said, "They don't want Drake to have power. They want to keep him as a product, not a boss. But Kendrick? Kendrick played the game different and they rewarded him. The whole system is designed to divide us." The audio spread like wildfire. Suddenly, fans weren't just debating Drake versus Kendrick, they were now questioning the entire system of labels, contracts, and industry politics. Kanye had shifted the conversation from personal beef to a larger conspiracy, and people ate it up. Overnight, hashtags like #industry-rigged and #free the stars began trending. Drake reportedly wasn't thrilled about Kanye jumping in, one insider claimed. Drake told his crew, "I don't need him turning this into a circus. This is my fight." But whether he liked it or not, Kanye's words carried weight. Suddenly, Drake wasn't just seen as a frustrated artist, he was being painted as a victim of a rigged system, a narrative that won him even more sympathy. Fans began to rally behind him not only as a superstar, but as a symbol of rebellion against corporate control. Universal, on the other hand, was drowning in bad press. Every headline seemed to be against them, every podcast episode dissected their favoritism, and every fan conversation painted them as the villains. Executives reportedly panicked, with one even warning, "If we lose Drake, we don't just lose money, we lose credibility." Others argued that giving Drake Kendrick's exact deal would devalue Kendrick's uniqueness. The arguments grew so heated that staff described the offices as a war zone. It was clear the empire was crumbling from within, and the pressure was mounting. As if the storm wasn't already at its peak, Drake finally made his move. In the dead of night, without any announcement, he dropped a brand new track on streaming platforms. No promotion, no warning, just a surprise release. The song was raw, emotional, and filled with cryptic lines that fans immediately dissected. While he never mentioned Universal or Kendrick by name, the lyrics were dripping with bitterness about betrayal, loyalty, and legacy. One line in particular, "They love you till you're useful, then replace you with a ghost," set the internet on fire. Fans declared it an obvious shot at the leaked executive audio, calling him replaceable. The track skyrocketed to #1 overnight, proving that Drake didn't need the label's machine to dominate. The release sent Universal executives into full panic mode. Insiders said they held emergency calls into the early morning hours, debating whether to sue, negotiate, or retaliate. But the damage was already done. Drake had proven his independence, and the fans were rallying harder than ever. Social media exploded with celebrations. "He doesn't need them," one fan shouted. Another wrote, "This is Drake's rebellion era." The energy was electric, and for the first time in weeks, Drake seemed to be back in control of the narrative. Kendrick's camp, however, reportedly wasn't impressed. Rumors swirled that Kendrick told a close associate, "Dropping a diss track doesn't make you free, it just makes you loud." Whether true or not, the quote spread quickly and reignited the rivalry between their fan bases. Once again, the two camps clashed online, with Drake's supporters celebrating his boldness while Kendrick's defenders mocked him for playing the victim. The divide only grew deeper, turning the feud into something larger than either artist could contain. Amid all the chaos, Drake received unexpected support from an unlikely place: his fans' families. Viral videos emerged of parents, siblings, and even grandparents of fans speaking out, saying Drake's music had shaped their lives and that he deserved respect. One particularly touchy UMG video showed a mother holding up an old Drake concert ticket saying, "This man got me through hard times. Don't you dare call him replaceable." The clip went viral, tugging at heartstrings and painting Drake not just as an artist, but as a cultural force tied to people's lives. Suddenly, the fight wasn't just about contracts, it was about legacy, about impact, about the way music lives inside people. Universal tried to strike back with their own move. Within days, they quietly announced a massive extension deal with another rising hip-hop star, hoping to shift the spotlight away from Drake. But instead of calming the storm, it backfired. Fans immediately accused the label of using the new artist as a pawn to distract from the Drake drama. "Don't try to throw a new toy at us," one fan tweeted. "This is about Drake." The backlash was swift, and Universal found themselves once again losing control of the narrative. Every attempt to silence the drama only made it louder. Drake, sensing victory, reportedly began plotting his biggest move yet. Insiders claimed he told his crew, "We're going to build something they can't touch. Our own platform, our own empire." Whispers began circulating about Drake partnering with tech investors to create his own label streaming hybrid, one that would allow artists full ownership of their work. The idea sounded revolutionary, and whether it was true or not, the rumor electrified fans. Suddenly, Drake wasn't just fighting for himself, he was being cast as a leader of a potential movement to free artists from the grip of major labels. Kendrick, meanwhile, stayed quiet publicly, but his silence was interpreted as strength. Fans of Kendrick argued that while Drake was loud and reactive, Kendrick was calm and strategic, playing the long game. One viral comment summed it up: "Drake's fighting for respect, Kendrick already has it." This perception only deepened the divide. Both artists now represented two different paths in hip-hop, one of rebellion and noise, the other of quiet dominance. And the industry, caught between them, was struggling to keep up. By the third week of this never-ending saga, the drama had consumed everything. Podcasts couldn't stop talking about it, YouTube channels dedicated entire specials to it, and news outlets treated it like breaking news. Fans described it as the greatest reality show hip-hop has ever seen. And the truth was, no one wanted it to end. Every twist, every leak, every cryptic post only pulled people deeper into the story. It was music, but it was also theater, a spectacle that blurred the line between art and drama. The final blow came during an industry gala where both Drake and Kendrick were expected to attend. Cameras were ready, fans were glued to live streams, and the world held its breath. Would they confront each other? Would Universal executives try to intervene? According to multiple eyewitnesses, the night was thick with tension. Drake arrived first, dressed in all black, his expression cold. Kendrick arrived later, calm and collected, acknowledging fans but refusing to speak to press. At one point, they were seen standing across the room from each other, eyes locking for just a moment. No words were exchanged, but the silence spoke louder than any diss track. It was the image of a Cold War, a battle that had no clear winner, but left the room heavy with unspoken truths. By the end of the night, no fights broke out, no public confrontations happened. But the message was clear: the battle was far from over. Drake had shown he wouldn't be silenced, Kendrick had proven his throne was protected, and Universal was left scrambling to pick up the pieces of a reputation that would never be the same. Fans left the night buzzing, convinced that the next chapter was just around the corner. The saga of contracts, betrayal, and pride wasn't ending. It was only evolving into something bigger, something even more unpredictable. And just like that, the saga ends. At least for now. Drake walked into Universal demanding the same throne Kendrick was given, but walked out facing betrayal, politics, and a storm that shook the entire industry. Universal told him nope, Jay-Z sided with Kendrick, Kanye added fuel to the conspiracy, and even families, friends, and fans became soldiers in a war bigger than any one artist. Drake proved he could still dominate without the label. Kendrick proved silence can be louder than words and universal. Well, they were left exposed, scrambling to protect their empire. But here's the truth, this story is far from over. Will Drake actually walk away and build his own empire? Will Kendrick finally respond, turning quiet strength into lyrical fire? Or will Universal find a way to repair the cracks before everything falls apart? No one knows the answer, and that's what makes this drama so addictive. The music world is holding its breath, waiting for the next move, the next headline, the next shocking twist. And now we want to hear from you. Do you think Drake deserves the exact same contract as Kendrick? Is Universal guilty of favoritism? Or are they protecting something bigger? And what about the future? Will Drake really go independent? Or will he shock everyone by joining forces with a rival label? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this isn't just a story. It's a conversation, and your voice matters. Don't forget to hit that like button if you were hooked by the drama, subscribe so you never miss the next explosive update, and turn on notifications because trust me, the next twist could drop any second. The stage is set, the players are ready, and the battle for hip-hop's crown is only just begun.